Hey parents, Eric here. Just wanted to do this quick video because I've been sending you a lot of text to read the last couple of weeks, and what I got to communicate is pretty important here. And so I didn't want to inundate you with any more text that you needed to listen to, just to make sure that you give your eyes a break and your mind a break. So I hope you enjoy this quick little video. Just a couple things I wanted to be able to communicate with you. First and foremost, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you a million times, thank you. The feedback that you guys provided was super, super helpful for me. And additionally, it was really helpful for the students to have the encouragement that you guys gave them. One quick story that I'll share. A lot of you guys don't know this, but I was born Eric Layton Long, not Eric Eugene O'Connell. And when we were on vacation before our second daughter, Layton, was born, my wife and I were sitting with some friends, and that had come up in conversation. And she said, "Well, that's a really pretty girl's name." And I said, "I really like it, but my wife doesn't." And she looked at me as if I just said something offensive and said, "No, I really like it. I didn't think you liked it." And so we realized we both really liked this name, but neither of us had communicated it. And if there's one theme that I can communicate, or if there's one theme that stood out in the feedback that I got from you and from the students, is that we all want the same thing. We just haven't really been communicating it. So for me, it's very important to keep these open lines of communication as much as possible. And I'm going to be looking for ways to do that. Hopefully some like quarterly check-ins, stuff like that. But just wanted to say thank you for your honesty. Thank you for the encouragement you gave to your students, because it really did set the table for what I think is going to be hopefully very successful and fruitful ministry moving forward. So just a couple of really important things that I wanted to share with you as it relates to your feedback, and kind of what we're going to need continued feedback from the students, and also part of the reason why I'm sending this video and this email is from you as well. Important update, I am clear from COVID. Yeah, I had a little bit of a scare there last week, but no issues. Been testing and making sure that it's negative, and so we shouldn't have that issue. So we will be doing youth group this Sunday. And speaking of youth group this Sunday, again, thank you for sending your students. I did communicate to them that any feedback they gave and any feedback you gave does not mean future commitment. But what I will say is, if your students were encouraged and or inspired and or at the very least just feeling like, hey, you know what, if youth group goes this direction, I'd be happy about it, I would really encourage you to send them this Sunday as well, because we're going to be making a whole host of choices. And one really, really important thing to note, I was talking to a parent recently about all this feedback, and one of the things I think their student had communicated is, well, it's not like it's going to change overnight. We are ready to change now, and one of the updates I'm going to give you, you're going to recognize the reality of that, but we're ready to change like yesterday. So these will actually be overnight changes. Your students' feedback is just what's really crucial and what's really helpful to that. So if they're encouraged by what we've been doing recently, if they'd like to keep giving their feedback, I would encourage you to keep sending them this Sunday as well, and that will probably be my last ask of you guys for that. But just some of the key decisions that are going to be being made this Sunday, specifically at youth group: curriculum choices and moving forward in small group. I was going to give you guys a whole detailed version of it, but to keep it brief, basically what we're going to decide is, what is the role and what is the importance of group discussion during the talk or the sermon time? Where's the time limits, and what sort of structures do we want to put in place to where you guys can ask me genuine, organic questions, and we can dig deep with one another. And then we're also going to be asking, okay, if we spend this much time, then it'll take this much time, or give this much time to small groups. Where's the importance? What are the values there? So that'll be a decision that's being made. The role of worship at youth group. I had a student ask me if we could do student-led worship, and I know that some students don't want to do worship at all. And so we'll be asking them some of those questions. And just as I say that, one really important thing. I know I'm depending a lot on your feedback and your students' feedback, and I know that one of the criticisms, or at the very least a fair question that can be asked, is, well, why don't you just decide? You're the leader. And I hear that, and I'm definitely doing that in some areas. But man, it's really important for me just at the very least get all the information before I make a decision. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be making these decisions. Our team is making the decisions, and we are not just giving your students what they want. Sometimes we're going to give them what they need, even if they don't want it. But it's helpful for us to know where we can push in those areas, not necessarily just doing it, on a whim because we feel like it. So talking about worship, input on the type of special events that we do. Where do you guys want to serve? What are some of the fun things you guys are interested in doing? And then the big thing that I just want to give you an update on is our schedule moving forward. Okay, so there's going to be 3 real options. And if you're interested in the feedback, the one piece of feedback I'll reference is that the students had communicated that, that every week large group is just getting too much. It's getting really difficult, and it kills encouragement to want to be there. So we're going to kind of scratch the every single week large group. And there's going to be 3 options available, and they're all going to be very similar. So I'm going to throw a picture up onto the screen real quick because I kind of want you to get an idea of what it is that we're going to be talking about. But there's going to be 3 options, and basically what we're going to do is, moving forward, on the first and third Sunday, we will meet for regular large group. Just the way youth group has been, no changes. Well, changes in how we do it during the time, but no changes in the schedule. And the reason we're doing that is because middle school has second and fourth. So we will be meeting regular large group first and third Sunday every week. Where your students' feedback is going to be really important is they had communicated on weeks that we don't have youth group, they still want to meet and they still want to do something, but just maybe something a little bit different from youth group. And so I've got 3 options, one that I call the hybrid option, one that I call the flexible option, and the set option. And so the hybrid, basically, let me explain community week and service week. Community week, they're saying we want to do something fun together that's going to build the community, build friendships. Great. That's going to be our community week. And then a serve week is going to be us going and serving. I communicated at the beginning of the year how I want the last Sunday of the month to be us actually going out into the community and spending time. That's what we're going to try and accomplish. And our service opportunities are most likely going to be highly relational, trying to go to the same places, and we're going to start small. But basically what I'm going to ask the students to decide between is, hey, do we want to have hybrid where, 1 month we might be able to have 2 community weeks, and then the next month we have 1 community, 1 service. There's the flexible model, which allows, hey, you guys can pick, do we want to do 2 services, 2 communities, one or the other? That will require a little bit of planning ahead and them letting me know like a month or a month and a half in advance what they want to do, so we can make sure we plan accordingly. But my preference is going to be the picture that I shared, or not the picture that I shared, but first and third Sunday would be regular youth group. Second and fourth, or second would be a community week, so something fun, special event, whether it's at the church or outside of the church. And then the fourth week would be our serve week, really trying to be intentional of saying, hey, this is going to be a part of who we are. We're going to go serve people, and we're going to serve people in our community. And then for that 5th week, it's kind of open. We're thinking about, hey, maybe just on 5th Sundays we take a break. Maybe we do something totally different, but that's kind of be up in the air, and your students will give me hopefully some good feedback on that so that we're able to decide. So those are going to be the big decisions that we're making. Worship, curriculum, special events, and just our schedule in general. So if your students have any strong feelings about this, please let me know. If you have any strong feelings about it as you're hearing me talk, let me know. I'd really appreciate it. I was going to mention the mentoring part here, but I think for at least a mental break, I'm going to make a separate video of that. I'm going to look the exact same, but it's just going to be a different video so this thing doesn't end up being 10 minutes. So just scroll down and check out what we're talking about with mentoring.